Okay. All right. Okay. So what I do is I use a strainer thingy.
So it looks like that.
It's kind of has a lot of peppercorns in there, and I just clean it out. Kind of collect everything so it's not as messy. There's some oil on top. Sometimes I collect the oil if I want it less oily. So let's see. So see that stuff coming out? That's like whole peppercorns and all the flavors from the spices and stuff.
Nadia, do you suggest we use whole peppercorn instead of just grounded pepper?
Yes, I like, that's what I use. And I also put some fresh ground pepper in there too.
Okay.
So you can do whatever you, these are all my suggestions. There really isn't a wrong or a right way of doing stuff. Sometimes people have their own preferences, but this is how I do it. So I'm just showing you what I do.
Yeah, we should totally try it. Miss Anne, what you trying to say?
Oh, did you start with water or broth?
Yep, I'll show. If somebody just, yes, just water, just water. At the beginning video.
Did you want to show it again?
Yeah. Here, I'll let everybody look at it again.
So
I'll
for
put it
our
here.
some meat soup, we need to have like a piece of meat. This is how I'm going to be making my broth. We have an onion here. I put some peppers in there. If you have pepper, it adds to the flavor of the broth. I also put whole peppercorns in there, which and then some parsley, some salt. I'm also going to put this thing in there. You don't have to, but this is sort of the European place. And then I'm just going to let that boil. As the meat boils, there'll be like a white film that starts forming on top of the surface. You just remove that. And I will show you the rest tomorrow.
Is that a piece of sirloin?
It's just any kind of steak, right?
Yeah, some kind of beef.
Just any kind of beef.
Whatever. I don't remember what I use. I just use beef.
Something without a bone.
It adds to the flavor. You just need the broth. You can use chicken if you want. Usually borscht is made with beef. But yeah, you can record me if you want. I don't mind. Just so that they see what I'm doing. So now, I am peeling a potato. I should have done that earlier, but it's okay. The potatoes actually start turning white because of oxidization if you peel them too much in advance. So I didn't want to peel them too much in advance, but I will use 2 for the borscht. So
Yeah, I didn't realize actually you start with beef. So I thought, oh, that's why it's so flavorful.
I'm gonna cut over here, honey. It is very flavorful, and all the peppercorns and everything is very it makes it very flavorful. But then you just collect it
Are
all.
you gonna show them how
So
to
if
cut
you
it?
want to look at the broth, now it's pretty clean. It's not as messy. Everything is in this container. So now it's clean. Oh, and the things that you put in the broth, if you weren't able to, here you have water, put some salt in there, fresh pepper. I grind some fresh pepper, whole peppercorns for the flavor. You can put some parsley in there. I use dried parsley. Mostly all of this is for flavor. What else? Another major spice would be the bay leaf. That was in there too as it boiled, but I did put an onion in there. As you can see, I took it out, but the onion and some peppers, if I have a pepper, adds to the flavor. And so all of that was just boiling for like an hour with meat. And so that's how you make the broth. Now it's clean and ready to go. The next thing I do is chop up a potato. So that's the way I cut it. And then this way, not too thick and not too thin either, but kind of chop it up however you want it, I guess. It really doesn't matter. Now I'm using 2 because I think that would be enough for the soup. I don't like the soup being too thick or anything. So,
Yeah,
and
I
I always
didn't,
wear,
oh, I didn't
ahead.
realize that there are so many ingredients in the beet
broth.
soup.
Well, in the broth, that's how you make it flavorful. Those are my secrets that I kind of learned from. So that's what I do with the broth. So hopefully you utilize it if you want. You can do your own thing. You can use chicken broth. You can use beef broth from the store if you don't want to have it homemade and stuff. So now I'm gonna dump this into the broth. That is going to boil. I'm gonna raise the temperature up. Just gonna let that boil because I want that cooking. Now in this pan, I will have some oil. I actually put a lot of oil. Oil makes it taste good, people. Don't be stingy.
It does.
It does. I used to put less in before, and then I always.
And that was grapeseed oil that my mom usually uses.
I usually use grapeseed oil, but you can use whatever you want. So now I'm gonna shred a carrot with one of these mandolins.
It's a medium-sized one.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah.
I heard that grapeseed oil is really good because it doesn't interfere with the flavor.
You can go on the other side, honey. If you want to see. I like grapeseed oil because it reaches a good like frying temperature.
Ah.
Yeah.
And now she's gonna take a beet and do the same thing.
And it's healthier with the grapeseed. Oh yeah, these are the beets. I peeled them yesterday to prepare. But you just peel them with one of these. You know, I'm sure you know how to peel. But just in case, you can use a knife if you want.
It's harder.
It is.
Do you have the gloves on so you don't get the beets on your hands?
I just wear gloves every time in the kitchen because of the germ factor. I don't want any germs coming out from underneath my nails and things like that. I'm just very germaphobe. But it does, and also, I mean, there's a number of reasons I wear gloves. I mean, it could also, mostly for my dry hands and the germs, but the dry hands and the beets too. You definitely don't want to, I would use gloves for beets because it will stain your hands a little.
Oh, it does.
Yeah. So let's see. The oil is heating up. Meanwhile, I'm just shredding these down. Let's see. Got that. And I do like to use a lot of beets so the borscht is red. Sometimes, yeah, sometimes you don't use enough beets and the borscht isn't red, and you want it red. So you want more beets in the mixture. So in the mixture, you have beets, carrots, and onions. And this is going to be like the, I guess the vegetable mixture that gets fried.
Nadia, where did you learn this recipe?
I don't remember. I just picked it. I knew probably my mom, another Russian lady here and there. And then I tweaked it up from hearing things from other people. And then I just kind of, I don't know, it was all life experience kind of. So my mom always made borscht, but I did not grow up helping her. I wanted to, but she always wanted to do it herself. So I let her do it herself.
I see.
Yeah, but I did see it. I saw how it was made too. So, yeah.
Yeah. So Miss Anne was from Ukraine. I wonder, Miss Anne, did you make any beet soup before?
Yeah, that's why I'm here. I just think I want to make some. My mother made it, but I didn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah, but now you can make it too, thanks to Nadia.
Right, exactly.
Those are huge
That's why I'm
beets.
here.
Yeah, those are huge meats. So what I'm going to do now is add the mixture to the oil.
I just saw an article in the Times actually about the difference between Ukrainian borscht and Russian borscht.
Oh,
Now I'm going to chop up the onions. Here, go on this side because I think it's a better angle. So what I do is slice it in half. The way I chop onions is this direction. Okay.
So kind of like in a circle.
So that way they're pretty finely chopped. I like them. The mixture should have, it doesn't really matter, but this is how I do it. Once again, everyone like does it a little different, I'm sure, but this is the way I cut my onions. So, and so this mixture, I mean, borscht in general is very easy. It's just knowing the steps and the ingredients. So basically the broth is the first step. The second step is to have this red beet mixture, which I'll show you in a minute here. I'm not the best chopper, so here we go. It's good enough. So that goes in here. And it just, wash my hands.
Do you need
I thought I had the oil heated up, but I forgot to turn on, so it's my mistake. Usually I like the oil heated up before adding it, so the oil, it doesn't sit in oil, but that's okay. So when this is all nice and caramelized, and I'll show you the process because this will be like a 10-minute thing. But meanwhile, we will work on the potato salad, so it'll be good.
So
All right.
to caramelize it, what kind of, like, how high should we use the heat? What am I trying to say? Like, should we turn the heat on high, or should it be medium high? Or?
Okay, so it should be on like a medium high.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. Yeah, sure. Medium high. Then I add some salt to it. I eyeball everything, I'm sorry. So this is how much salt I add. Okay, so I would say maybe a tablespoon, I don't know. And then I'm gonna add some sugar, about the same amount. Because I like it, because at the end it gets caramelized. And then I do add some ground pepper for flavor. Okay, meanwhile, I will chop up some dill. Dill is important for borscht because it makes it all just pop. Dill is important. You gotta have it. Beets and dill, pretty much you can't, and cabbage, you can't have it borscht without. Yeah. So that's gonna be later. You add that at the very end because if you cook the dill too long, it loses its flavor as much. So we do that, we'll add that at the end.
I didn't know that. Thanks for the tip.
Sure. All right, what else do I want to do? Okay, so what I'm going to do next is chop up the cabbage because this, while everything is kind of frying and boiling, I do other things. So you get just a white cabbage, cut off the end. That's why it's a demonstration because I'm not really good at explaining. And then what I do is cut it in half. And then, here, I'll go on this side so you can record again. Otherwise. And I slice it very, very thin as I can. The cabbage will go in when the potatoes are done boiling in the broth. Maybe we can turn up the temperature with the broth. We'll see.
So she's just doing it very thinly.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for helping.
Yeah, I think, yeah, I definitely wouldn't have been able to do this without my daughter as efficiently, I should say.
Yeah, I don't know how you can hold the camera while cutting vegetables.
No, I don't either. I would have figured it out. I would have kind of put it on one of these stands. Here, you want to show them? One of these stands or something? I don't mind if you record me sometimes because I can make faces at them. Hi. Oh, like I wish I can see you guys too, but it's kind of like I can't see you because my daughter has it just from the other angle, if that makes sense. Like the camera is
Oh
on the
yeah.
other side, so I can't see you guys.
Yeah, I just want to let you know everyone looks at you very intently and they
Oh.
all look very happy.
Well, I'm gonna peek and see who else is there. Let's see. Okay, I got a couple more people. Hi.
Hi.
All right. So you guys are gonna know how to make borscht after this. It's actually really easy and it's really healthy and it's very flavorful. It really is. If I make borscht, it's gone within a day
Oh
or
wow.
two. Yeah. All my neighbors like it too. My daughter loves it. Trying to think. Oh, another tip. If you make borscht, it is actually best to eat it the next day because all the flavors kind of seep into the broth and everything. So yeah, just a little tip if you want to make borscht and want to do it the night before, it never hurts. Actually, it's the best thing to do. It's one thing you can prepare ahead of time for company or something. I don't think I want to chop anymore because I think that should be enough. Yeah. I don't like too much cabbage in the borscht. Otherwise, it gets too thick. I like it to be kind of brothy. That's why I didn't add as much potatoes. I used to add a lot of potatoes and it was very thick before. And I'm like, ah. So I learned. So 2 potatoes would be enough unless you want it thick. So here we have the beet mixture kind of frying already here, sauteing. Okay, so for borscht, we have everything ready. So now I'm gonna go ahead and start chopping up the ingredients for a Russian salad, potato salad. Basically, it consists of potatoes, eggs, bologna, green peas, and dill. You can add some green onion if you want. And there's mayo, salt, and pepper. That's pretty much it. It's pretty easy, but it's really, really good. So what you want to do, again, boil. I'll show you a little video. So yesterday,
boil eggs with potatoes in water. And now I will add about this much salt. Okay. Just because it kind of salts the potatoes, and I'll mix it up a little bit too. So I usually boil this ahead of time. I let them sit like a whole day or whatever, a couple hours to cool off, and then it'll be easier to peel the eggs and the potatoes because this will be for the potato salad.
Is there another one?
oh yeah, and pickles go in there. No, that's it. So did you get it?
Yep.
All right. So now I will show you the way to chop up bologna. It's pretty much just bologna. Okay, it's very easy. Instead of bologna, you can use any kind of other, I guess, meat if you want, but bologna is a very typical one we use. So what Milana did already, she sliced it this direction.
Sorry.
It's okay. We have show them. We have a chime in the house because it was outside.
Oh, that's charming.
It was outside, but we brought it in because of winter. So I just figured I'll just keep it in the kitchen for a little bit. All right. So back to bologna here. You slice it this direction, okay, and then you slice it this direction. Very easy.
And you have a couple of slices of bologna while you're cutting all of these up. You don't do it one at a time.
Yeah, you just put a whole bunch in there. Milana already chopped up, I think, half of it. Is that what you said?
Oh,
Yeah, it's in here.
she's a great helper.
He is. And we should have chopped up some more stuff to save some time, but it's okay. We'll just chit chat while you wait.
Yeah, but now we can see the action, so that's nice.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be perfect because salad is just salad, you know, everything gets mixed up. So don't worry about it being like super perfect. In fact, there are other ways of chopping it. I have about myself a Christmas gift basically is a way of chopping this kind of stuff. I just don't want to use it today, but it has a chopper in there that you kind of like place. You slice it and you place it into the compartment and then it just closes the lid on it and it chops. But I don't know if any of that made sense, but it doesn't matter. This is the way I did it without that. This is my Christmas gift. So I'll just wait until Christmas. Otherwise I don't feel like it's Christmas. So with the potatoes, after they're done boiling, you peel potatoes and the eggs. Let them cool off, peel them. That's why I did that yesterday. Well, Milana did the peeling. And then you slice them in half, like slices. And then you slice them this direction, like that. Again, just little cubes. And I guess it depends how much potato salad you want. If you want a lot, use a lot of ingredients. If you don't want a lot, use less. I would say I would do about equal amounts for every ingredient. So the potatoes I have, you want to show them a picture of how much I have in there? I think the potatoes are actually the main ingredient. So add a little bit more of those. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6 of them. Some are larger than others though.
My husband is kind of German heritage, so I think he would prefer to have a lot of potatoes.
Okay. And then there's also the eggs. So let's do that. We still have some time. My goal is to be done in an hour. We'll see.
So Nadia, what do you think would be the biggest difference between American potato salad versus Russian potato salad?
I'm not really very familiar with some of the American potato salads. I think some of the ones I have tried, I think they're more vinegary, if I remember correctly. I don't really eat American potato salads. I think they're more, the dominant ingredient is potatoes. And I think there is a little bit more vinegar in there, like vinegary kind of flavor. I'm not sure where it comes from, probably from vinegar. I don't make American potato salads, so I can't really comment too well on that. I think Russian potato salads, there's just different ingredients. Like I'll have some peas in there and I'll have some, what else? Oh, cucumbers. I mean, not cucumbers, it's pickles. So.
Oh, Vanda, I hope it's okay for me to share. But I just realized, yeah, Vanda also knows how to make borscht. I don't know, Vanda, if you want to share about.
I wouldn't go so far, but I think it's there like a combination, like a Hungarian version of borscht. So my mom taught me how to do it, but I think it's just a little bit different. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I love Cheburek, so I'm so excited to learn how to make Cheburek.
Okay, that will definitely be the last thing we make, but they are very simple.
Okay.
So
You're also a little Americanized.
no, they're simple to make. They're not Americanized. I just cheat by not making the dough. My mom actually made the dough from scratch, which I think is just so difficult and so time consuming. So the dough I buy, and I'll show you what dough it is, because that matters. Because it's not just a regular tortilla dough. All right, I think my beet mixture is probably needs a stir. All right. Yeah, we'll have borscht in any time. It's almost done. It'll be done in any time.
Does the word borscht mean something in Russian?
I don't
Other
think
than-
so.
It just is what it is.
I think it means raw. Let me Google it really quick. I thought I saw it somewhere.
I don't know. I came to the United States about 30 years ago, and I am very Americanized, even though I know lots of Russian stuff and some dishes we still make, and I speak Russian. But I speak Russian and know some Russian cultures, but mostly I would say I'm Americanized. So I don't know too much about like the meanings of everything. I apologize for that.
No. I was just curious. I Googled it before the event. So now I remember it says it means sour soup.
Okay. Yeah, there are different types of borscht. There is a green borscht. Basically, there's no red meat. And it's basically there's this green vegetable you add to it. It's like a leafy vegetable. It's called shavin. So yeah, I'm trying to think. I think that's what it is. But it's green, but there is cabbage. So borscht should have cabbage. That's basically it has to have cabbage. But yeah, borscht is made different ways. I just like red borscht.
I didn't know borscht has different ways. I thought the only thing I know about borscht is beet soup.
Yeah. Something to learn, I guess. I may be
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah, thank
But-
you for teaching us.
Sure. Just knowing, being Russian and knowing just different borschts out there, that's the only reason I know about it. But I'm not sure if there's I'm pretty sure borscht has to have cabbage. Although I have seen other people classify their soup as a borscht without cabbage. So I'm not sure. But they had beets. So I'm not sure if there's a correct way. I'm not positive. You guys can research that if you want. So the eggs go next. The way I do the eggs, I use one of these. Okay, because it's easier. If you don't have one of these, you can just chop it, and that's okay. And then I pick it up, and then I put it the other way. Okay, I'll show you again. So it's sliced this direction already. I'm taking it out and I'm flipping it this direction. The slices are already done this direction, so now I'm gonna slice it this direction. Because you want it pretty tiny, and the rest I kind of do with my hand. Where's my other knife? I need something smaller. I just kind of do that. Just cut it this direction and make it smaller. Again, there are devices out there that you can use too, as long as the eggs are cut. That's all that matters. Everything cut.
Maybe you could show them how to do it without that thing if they don't have it.
Nope, don't want to do it. Just cut them in little pieces. Actually, the way I do it, I just cut in my hand. Just chop it up in this direction.
That works too.
Yeah, just so it's in there. And again, like I said, I know some people are kind of perfectionistic, and so am I, but I learned with the potato salad, it doesn't have to be perfect. You know, as long as the ingredients are chopped up, no one will even know if there's something longer in there or shorter, you know? So
Yeah,
again,
I actually
I
thought,
know.
I actually was planning to just mash the egg.
no, you
mush.
want to stop. It won't get mashed very well. Because if you mash, it will mash everything. In fact, whenever we mix later, the reason you want to wait for the potatoes to cool off is so that they don't really break too much,
Oh.
you know, because they'll be too soft.
And it'll be more like a mush instead of a salad.
Yeah, you don't want mush. You want some texture in there. Do you want to go check out the meat mixture while I do that? You can take it with you if you want. All right, whatever. Can they still see me?
Yeah, I can still see you.
I wish I can see me. I can't see me.
Oh.
It's all right.
But I just want to let you know you look great.
Ah, you're so sweet. I just wish I could see you guys. It's fun to see you.
Yeah.
See who's actually looking, who's actually interested.
Yeah, we will do a group photo at the end. So you will see all of us and we'll remember this moment in the future as well.
Yeah.
So of all the 3 dishes, what do you think would be your favorite and what do you think would be your daughter's favorite?
Good question. I like all of them. Depends what I'm craving. Yeah, I like all of them. Milana, what's your favorite? Sorry, I'm not very helpful with describing what I really like.
I like all of them.
They're all good.
Like I would eat the olivia, like the Russian potato salad, in I don't know how many days, but like really fast. And usually my mom makes like a lot of it and I finish it all. And then the borscht I can finish really fast too because I really like it and it's really good. And then like the Chebureki, the thing that we haven't made yet, I like to eat those in the morning because like you could just heat them up and you can like take them out of the freezer. Like you can freeze them instead of keeping them fresh.
Mm.
Yeah,
Oh, so
You can freeze them and then heat them up.
oh, nice. Thank you for explaining it. That's really helpful.
yeah, we'll get to that. But they are, yeah, Chebureki are really nice to actually prepare ahead of time as well, and they freeze wonderfully. I mean, the flavors are there. They don't have the freezer taste. They're really good. So I do freeze them whenever I'm done making them. Whenever you take them
After
out,
we eat a few.
you just put them in the toaster, and they're just like as though you just made them. So they are good.
So Nadia, are you planning to open the first Russian restaurant in State College?
I don't know. Maybe. I if I would only be like the things that very simple recipes, but I don't know. I kind of had a dream like that a while back.
Oh,
Just
nice.
because I would think it'd be fun to manage because I like to, be my own boss.
How did you do that?
Okay, so now you chop up some pickles. They have to be pickles and canned, so they'll be sour. And I will show you how to make it. I have 3 more pickles to show them, honey. So you just slice them again the way I sliced them. Sorry, I kind of went ahead without showing you at first, but I'll show you in a minute. All right, so you get a pickle. The way I slice it, again, everyone has their own way, is slice it this direction first. Okay, and then I divide it, lay it down flat, and again, slice it this direction. Like, just make it small enough. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. And then you slice it this direction. And it's chopped up that way. Honey, why don't you show them the beet mixture and the borscht broth?
So this is now cooking and it's getting caramelized.
Yeah, it's getting there. Well, we can't smell it, but can you describe the smell for us?
It smells good.
Oh.
I don't know.
It looks good.
Yeah.
So how often should we stir while it caramelizes?
So that it doesn't burn. I stirred like 3 times already. So I stirred 3 times. So that would be like, I think the 3rd time. So maybe every 5 minutes or so, but you want it to be caramelized. So, and it's getting there. First you have to saute it after it's all sauteed, we'll add more. We'll add actually a secret ingredient, which is ketchup.
Oh,
Yeah, I can see you guys now. Now I can't. Hold on. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
I can see worse.
So that's boiling with the potatoes and stuff.
yeah.
Take that off. All right.
So you want to make sure that it's soft and like the things that like you shredded up are soft and like bendable and
Yeah, so they have to be cooked through. And then whenever you see that it's actually kind of like cooked through already, it's pretty soft, which is actually right now, you can taste the mixture and see if it's salty enough for you. Now we're gonna add
ketchup.
ketchup will actually caramelize it more.
Oh, really? Didn't know
Yes.
that.
And
Really hard.
a borscht actually has like a tomato paste of some sort. So if you don't have ketchup, you can use tomato paste. That's an option. I just cheat all the time. But I have made, during the summer, I would use fresh tomatoes from my garden and just use the mandolin again to get all the tomato juice out. Kind of grind it down, remove the peel just don't add the peel of the tomato because it gets kind of, it's hard. You can't chew it very well and doesn't belong in the soup. Just use the soup with let me have somebody. So they're more entertained instead of just looking at that. So the tomatoes, you just remove the peel and then you use the mandolin to get the juices out. And then you just add it to the mixture at this time. Okay.
I like your background. It's so festive.
Oh, thank you.
I see you're ready for the holiday.
We are. We had the fire on earlier. The fire on Netflix, Amazon Prime.
Oh.
Yeah, that one. We cheat. All right. You can go to the broth and see if the tomatoes are almost ready, and they are. So whenever, oh yeah, the potatoes. So now what I'm gonna do is use my hands and I'm gonna break down the meat and just kind of break it in there like that in pieces. It's helpful. Another reason I like to do the broth ahead of time is because you can break down the meat while it's cold and not hot.
Yeah, I was trying to ask you what are you gonna do with the meat. So now I know they're going back to the pot.
Yeah, and then the fat is really good. If you can get a piece with a little fat, it adds a lot of flavor and it's softer. If you get a very lean piece, I don't add this stuff. I try to take it off. It's just the extra lining or whatever in between the beef. Yep, that's what you do with that. You add the beef.
As big or small as you want.
Yep, you can choose your sizes. Let's see. And whenever the water starts boiling, we'll add the cabbage. So after you add the tomato paste or the ketchup or just the tomato sauce, you have to stir more often. So if you can, Milana, you can show them. You have to stir more often because it gets more caramelized much faster because of the sugar. So that's why we're stirring more often. It's pretty much ready. We're just gonna top it off with some dough. And it's very flavorful. You would think that, I don't know how to describe the flavors would be, what? You want this? No, not yet. The dough goes at the very end. Actually, we can probably put the dough in the soup at the end. Okay, so the flavor of this mixture is a little sweet. Definitely sweet. You would think that beets aren't sweet, but they're actually sweet because you add the sugar and the salt. Like it's actually beets are really tasty.
You can put it on
Flavorful.
bread. That's
Yeah.
like another thing. If you have extra of this beet stuff, you can put it on bread and it just tastes so good.
Yep. Milana always asks me to leave some extra for her for the bread. All right. So over here, I have, let's see, let me get a spoon.
Oh, I have a spoon right here.
Is it large? I like to mix with the large spoon. Yeah. Okay. So with the potato salad, I got everything chopped up in there. Oh no, we need to add the peas.
Oh yeah, those need to.
All right. Any questions? You guys can ask if you have any questions. But what I do is use frozen peas. I just put them in a bowl and add hot water, which did not get heated up yet. Did that, Nick?
It's on now.
Рано, если ты бы смотрела видео, ты бы хотела смотреть только на пищу.
Да.
I didn't realize frozen pea can just be heated up with like a hot water. That's actually a really nice trick.
Yes, that's what I do. I like frozen peas in the olivia. It has more of a texture. They're firmer. If you use canned beans, it's not the same.
Yeah.
Canned peas, they kind of, you can if you want. They're kind of squishy. So now this is all done. I can tell it's really caramelized. You do not want to over saute this because it will start burning a little, and it will actually start getting the beet mixture will start getting a little bit more dehydrated, and then it will lose its flavors. It won't be as flavorful. So whenever you see that it's pretty much caramelized, I don't know if you can see that right there, and it's sticking to the bottom. It actually has a little stick to it because it's getting caramelized. You want to remove it from the heat. Okay, so that's that. I will add the dill to it. The dill gets added, and it just lay on top. Again, I don't want to really cook it too long because it will lose its flavor. Here in the broth, we have the meat in there, and the potatoes pretty much already boiling. So now we will add the cabbage. Okay, so I will add the cabbage. And I am actually going to transfer this, or maybe I'll leave it.
One?
I'll leave it because of the Chebureki. We'll have to use the other one for the Chebureki.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we'll leave it. Where is my spoon? Here it is. You can taste the broth and see if you like the flavors. Add more salt or pepper, whatever you want. So once you add the cabbage, you cook it for about 5 minutes. Because yeah, it has to get cooked through. And I actually add the cabbage right before the potatoes are completely cooked through. I mean, they should be cooked through, but you don't want to overboil the potatoes because it'll be like smush. Because you need to cook the cabbage in there yet. Okay. All right, and then okay, and then once the cabbage is cooked, we'll add this beet mixture.
Oh, so beets goes last. Okay, got it.
But the longer the beet mixture gets boiled, the less red the soup tends to be because it loses its color. So you want to add that at the end and cook it for like maybe another 5 minutes just so that, you know, if there's any bacteria and anything, just kind of like, not bacteria for any reason, but just to let it boil with the mixture and kind of get my hair is messed up.
No, your hair looks nice.
Milana's like, my daughter's like, fix your hair. I'm like, okay. Because put it here. All right. So what other tips can I give you? With borscht, you do want to add the beet mixture at the end. That is a big deal. And you try not to overboil it. I'll show you at the end. All right. So back to the salad. I will be adding chopped onions as well. Green onions. There, scallions. You can add, I've seen recipes with onions in there, like red onions, just white onions. If you want to, you don't have to. You can make your own recipe. Like I said, Russian recipes are very the biggest thing with the Russian egg salad is you have to have the peas in there. The peas, the eggs, and the potatoes. Everything else, and the dill and mayo. Ingredients, that's what the main ingredients are. But you could either leave out the scallions or keep them at like either add them or not add them. That's up to you. Some people don't like them in, some do. These are green onions. Just chop them in. Some people put some red onions in there. I don't like onion in general, like regular onion in there. So I don't. Because I think it has plenty of flavor without that. All right. If you're an onion lover, add it. Go for it. You'll like it. All right. I'm just waiting for the water to boil. I didn't realize it wasn't boiling. Hi. See more people. All right. So let's see. They kind of let that boil. The water just kind of defrosts the frozen peas. And let's see, whenever they're defrosted, I think they are. Doesn't take long. I drain them. What? I drain them. What are you laughing at? And then I put them in the paper towel, drain them some more in the paper towel. Because you don't want water in the potato salad. It's just not good. So I just kind of smush them a little bit to collect all the water. Everyone enjoying this?
Yeah.
So I will use paper towels to make sure they're pretty dry. I will add these at the end though, because I don't want to smush them too much. Okay. Oops, losing some peas. It's okay. All right. Let's see. I feel like they're pretty dry.
As long as they're dry.
Yeah. All right. So now, is that a pickle? Okay. Now I'm going to use my hands to mix this because I feel like I break down the potatoes better with my hand. So I will just mix it all as gentle as I can so it doesn't become just mush. I just kind of break down the little pieces that I just chopped up. So I use my hand to mix this.
Because they all stick together kind of.
Yeah, they do.
So we should do this first before we put in the peas.
Yes, because the peas will get smushed. Wait to
Oh,
add the peas
right.
at the end. Just mix the hearty ingredients first.
Mm.
And
It's good to get tips from you instead of learning through
On your
my
own.
mistakes.
Oh yeah, I like to learn from other people's mistakes too. I prefer to do it that way. So the major ingredient with this salad would be mayo. We have a lot of mayo in our family for ingredients. So this is about, yep.
Ketchup, mayo.
So that's a lot of mayo. I eyeball it. Sorry, guys, that I don't have measurements as much. It just,
As long as it like the mayo covers all of the
yeah.
thingies.
Yeah. And then you mix it up again. I think I may have added 1 scoop too many. Maybe not. We'll see. You can use a spoon. Actually, I usually use a spoon to mix this up. I just divide it first with use my hand to divide things. But yeah, actually, no, this is a perfect amount of mayo.
Yeah, I mean, you did add a lot of mayo, but it's a big pot of salad, so.
It is a big pot. It gets eaten up. I'm telling you, I always make plenty because
So good.
it is good. It's really flavorful. It's a simple recipe. Anytime you want to. I don't care what you do. As long as they see what we're doing. They want to see the ingredients, and I don't mind if you record our house even. Just don't make it boring.
Sounds so beautiful.
I just don't want it to be boring. Like, it's like, look at this dish for like ever. All right, so now we're gonna add green peas. Okay.
And you pour them gently onto the dish.
Very funny. Again, just mix it in. You can add dill, which I don't have chopped up yet, but you just add dill to it to give it more flavor. Dill is a very common herb to be used in Russian recipes. We love dill. And you can add salt and pepper if you want. I find it normally whenever I add the mayo, it's pretty salty. It's salty enough, but yeah. You can add more pickles if you want. I only had 3 in that jar, but I would actually normally add a little bit more for this amount of potato salad, so you get more of that crunch.
We don't have pickles.
We might have pickles somewhere else, but
Wait.
just for the time. Milana,
Не буду.
Here, see them. All right, that's it with the Olivia.
Oh, is that Russian?
The Olivia? Oh, that's how you say yes. You say,
Oh.
yep, that's how you say a potato salad in Russian. It's called Olivia.
Aladia.
No, Olivia.
Aladia.
Yes, Olivia.
Oh,
You see?
thanks. Now
You're
at
welcome.
least I can say potato salad in Russian.
Yeah, I want to see you guys. No, you don't have to wash it. See, maybe I can lower it down. I'll find a place. There, not really, but you kind of see me. Okay, that works. Then I can see you guys. Okay. Hi.
Hey.
It's nice to see faces. All right. So, any questions so far?
I think you explained everything so well, but let's see. Maybe we have some questions. I know Vanda is really looking forward to the third dish, but the first
yeah.
2 are pretty exciting.
So yeah, we will get the Chebureki done in 5 minutes. I promise it won't take long. But let me show you, the borscht is pretty much done. Let me reverse this.
Maybe Anna has a question. Anna, do you have a question?
Milana, do you want to hold this while I dump it in there? And if you have a question, go for it. So now I'm going to add the Russian beet mixture here.
Ah, the soup is turning red.
Now it's red. I didn't leave any for you, Milana, sorry. But you just stir it in there. Let it boil for another maybe 3-5 minutes and you're done. The way you eat the Russian soup would be with a dollop, a huge dollop of sour cream. Yep. Sour cream is great with Russian soup, borscht. So that's something we do. Either that or apply a whole bunch on a slice of bread.
So do you mean like eating sour cream like a salad or?
So put the sour cream on top of the soup.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then eat it with the soup. Like you can either just mix it all together.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That's good tip.
Yes.
And what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, the beet stuff you could always put on bread too. If you have extra, you should try it sometime. It's really good.
Oh, like a topping.
Well, like the beet mixture separately, like with just this, you just take some of that and you put it on bread and it tastes
Oh,
before you add it to here.
oh, I
You, like,
see.
put it-
You can just
I'm
see
betting if you roll that up into bread dough, it'd be really tasty.
you probably could.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, you can. I do
Yeah,
a
you-
version of beet bread, so I'm like, oh yeah. I play too much with my bread and I enjoy it.
Um,
All right. Let's see. So now, no, you don't have to wash it. We don't have time to wash right now. So now for the Chebureki. Again, I always kind of have a whole bunch of stuff going on. Usually whenever I make borscht, I would make, I don't remember what I would make, like something else. So I would always lose track of time. It is important not to overboil the borscht. So I will show you, guys. It's boiling a little bit. So maybe another 2 minutes and then turn it off. Okay. I always lose track of that, but that's what you want to do. Don't overboil it. If you overboil it, then it loses its flavor a little bit. Here, Milana, hold it. I need your help again. Thank you. So I think it's ready. I'm gonna actually close it, turn it off, and I actually remove it from the heat so it doesn't continue boiling. That's what I do. All right, so Milana will record the Chebureki. Here, let me actually use it so I can tell them what I'm doing, because I don't know how you record. All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we need these to begin. Okay, if you want a snap picture of that or whatever, but it is bought in the Walmart. So these are important. That's what you use for the dough. I had some onions chopped up. I have 3 onions in here. Onions are big portion, big component of the mixture, the broth mixture that I'll be using. And I have ground turkey. Okay, ground turkey is the mixture I use because here, or I can put it up here. Let's see. It's the mixture that I use. I use ground turkey because it is not as tough as beef for the Chebureki. It's not as tough. It's like just more moist and breaks apart. But you can use beef if you want. It's a different preference for everybody. Okay. So what I'm going to do is get my gloves on because I don't like to touch stuff with my hands, because then I smell like onion and stuff, and I don't like smelling like onion and stuff. So my gloves go on. Milana will be my helper in adding spices since I'm going to be mixing ground beef. It's dirty. All right, I will do most of it myself while I have clean gloves. Again, I have Milana do one. I don't know. You guys, it would probably be easier if you record me for the ingredients so they see what I'm doing. Okay, so about a tablespoon or so of salt. And again, I use sugar as well. It's a secret thing that I do.
so sugar, same
Yeah.
amount or a little
Not a little
actually
less, a little less sugar, or about the same. It's good enough. All right. Then I use ground pepper. You can add dill to it if you want. You can use whatever spices you want to make it flavorful. Okay. I sometimes use celery salt. Again, I just like to make
celery
it flavorful.
salt.
You can use celery salt. You can do whatever you want to make it flavorful. It's
Any
basically
spices you
the
want.
mixture for the inside of the Chebureki. I like to squish this mixture with my hands first so that the onion releases some of that juice, because it's really difficult to squish the onion with the ground beef. It just slides all over the place. So I squish the onion first. That's a tip I picked up too. I struggled before. So I learned not to do that. It's annoying because the ground beef moves around too much. Okay, so that's that. Now I will find a knife. Add some ground beef. I'm not sure if I'm going to use all of it.
Excuse me,
So I
Nadia.
have, yes.
Yes, the Chebureki is a specific ingredient or is it a set of ingredients?
Chebureki is basically dough stuffed with a ground beef mixture. So it's it's a set of ingredients, yeah, to answer your question, but I will show you the ending. I have one frozen, but it's stuffed with cheese. So sort of like a calzone. I don't know if I understood your question correctly. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you. Plus, you mentioned calzone at the end, so I know it's good already.
Yes, it's like a calzone, fried calzone. So I kind of eyeball, again, everything's kind of eyeballed, and I do apologize for that, but you kind of do that as you cook. So I have about there is 3 pounds of ground beef here. I used about this much, and I might use more. We'll see. I'm going to mix this up and see
How much?
if I want to add more or not. I will tell you the trick of making these cheburekis taste good is to have a whole bunch of onions. A whole bunch of onions.
Oh.
Because the onion, whenever you fry it, it produces a nice juice to the inside of the cheburek. So I have to make sure there's plenty of onions. And I don't want to keep on chopping up more onions. If that's why I left the other ground beef sitting for now. I'll see if I want to add it or not. So
Yeah, I appreciate you introduced the tips and the dough. I personally have a lot of trouble working with dough, so it's nice to have a pre-made one.
Yes. Well, my mom made it from scratch, and she would take all day, and I'm like, I'm not ever doing that, like ever. And then they don't do it anymore. They use this. They cheat now too. Let's see. Should we add more? I think this will be good. So can you see that there's plenty of onion? Okay. And yeah, it looks good. I like it. So we'll use this mixture. You can add dill. I've added dill before, but only because I just wanted to spice things up. Again, be creative, do your own thing. Now I'm gonna open this up.
Are those corn tortillas?
What?
Are they corn or flour tortillas?
This says, can I see? It says it's called the Tortilla Land Fresh Ready to Cook Tortillas.
I don't think they're
Tortillas.
core.
Yeah, and
Of
they should be raw. They should be just doughy, but they're not frozen. They're not in the frozen section. The ingredient says wheat flour, water, canola, oil, salt, and sugar. So I don't think they are. No. So with this, I think there's oil on this one. It's weird. I take them all out and lay them down. This counter is clean. Oh, I have to turn this on.
And I'll pour in the oil whenever it's hot. You just told me.
Yeah. So meanwhile, you want to use I like to use my cast irons if I can. So this is perfectly the right size for me to fry 2 tortillas. Because if you have oil frying over and over, you actually end up getting the burnt smell, right? So this is what whenever they're stuffed, it fits perfectly. Okay. So I like to use this size. It's not heated up yet. That's why I put it in there. Okay. You want it to heat up and the handle to be warm. That means it's all evenly heated up. And after that, you feel the handle being warm, then you can go ahead and add the oil. You don't want the oil boiling in there until while it's heating up, which makes sense.
Just pour in the oil whenever you're ready to put them in.
Yeah.
And then wait maybe a minute or something and then start frying them.
Yeah, but because the cast iron takes so long to heat up, I do turn it on. It takes longer to heat up. And what I do is, what you need to do is wet the outside of a tortilla. Okay, so it becomes kind of wet and so it could stick. Okay, so what I like to do is I use a paper towel and I wet it. Okay, just a little bit, because it's easy. It's easier to apply it. Because I used to do it with my fingertips and it took forever. So I just apply it right on the end. So it's pretty saturated. Don't get it on the other side. If you do, it gets kind of sticky on both sides. You don't want that.
Just on the inside.
And if it does, it's okay, but it's just not preferred. And I usually do like 2 or 3 at the same time. I wet them so that I have enough time to fill all of them with a mixture. So this is how much I use. Well, sometimes a little less. We like meat in this family. So we put a lot in there, but you don't want to put too much. That was kind of too much right here. And you just spread it out mostly on one side.
But not
Okay.
too close to the edges.
Yeah, you don't want to get too close to the edges. You flatten it out mostly on one side. So whenever you fold it, you're kind of lining up the edges, pushing it down. Keep the edges kind of firmly pressed. The goal is to get rid of all the air, okay? And seal it well so it doesn't escape. No juices escapes, because if juice escapes, then it will produce more backfire in the oil, okay? So what you want to do is hold it as you kind of squish it to flatten it out, if that makes sense. Kind of hold the edges, kind of get an idea of where they go, where the meat is going. And this is a pretty thick chunk of meat in there. I would actually use a little less. What you want to do is use what I do. You can do whatever you want, but what I do is I use this fork and I squish the edges like that. Okay.
Yeah, and it makes the edge really pretty.
Yeah, it makes it pretty and it seals better that way. And then I do the other side too. Okay, like that. But you don't want to push too hard. If you push way too hard, you cause a hole, and that you don't want that happening. You want to seal it, but without causing a hole. And that's a Chebureki for you. And what I end up doing is creating all of these first, filling all these up, and then frying them pretty much at the same time because they go pretty quick. But for the sake of, I would actually wait to heat up the cast iron until closer to me being almost done with filling them all up. I would have like maybe 6 left or something. But because of the sake of time, so that everybody can leave and not take forever for me to do all these, I'm just showing you. Okay, so again, that's what I'm doing again. I'm just kind of flattening it out. And then I push the edges. Another trick I would like to share, well, not a trick, but a tip, is you want to take the dough out of the fridge at least a half an hour before you start using it, so it rises well as it cooks. And with the ground turkey, you also want to take it out of the fridge at least a half an hour. I had it sitting on the counter on purpose because it cooks better that way too, if that makes sense. So, any questions?
It's very exciting. Seems like, and it's kind of, so how do you make sure like the dough doesn't get dried out when you're working with so many at the same time?
Yeah. So I mean, it does. If I just like, I mean, it doesn't take too long actually. So normally it will not dry out. Like this is the bunch I have right now. You can cover it up if you feel like you need more time. Cover it up with I don't know, bowl or something, a large plate. Put in a bag. Keep it in that bag if you want. Divide it in half and take from the initial bag that it came in. Maybe take only half of it out. Like remove the whole thing first and then divide it, because you won't be able to separate it without removing it all. Divide it. Put the half in the original package so it doesn't dry out. You can do that. You can do whatever you need to do to keep it from drying out. But my experience, I was able to make all of them without them drying out. It's not really, I mean, if you're really slow at it, yes, make sure you put it away. But it should be okay. I'm just waiting for the skillet to warm up completely. All right. And I mean, if you need to re-moisten the end, go ahead and do that. The more you make this, it's very easy. It's very easy. The more you make it, the more comfortable you'll get.
Yeah, I think another thing I had trouble with is how much, how many filling I should use for things like this, because I feel like I tend to overfill things and
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
get exploded.
Oh yeah, you kind of, like I said, the more you, and I kind of wipe the bottom so it's not like really wet because I don't want it wet. That's why I just did. But the more you, I would say maybe 2 tablespoons if you need a number, like about 2 tablespoons. You don't want it to be too thick, okay? You want it to be flat because it only fries for about 2 minutes, you know? So you want the meat to be cooked. But if you have it thick, it's fine too. But I always kind of, like, you don't need it thick. You're mostly eating dough. All right, let's see. I think it might be warm enough. It's warm. All right.
So
we don't have
grapeseed.
any- Where did that grapeseed oil go?
Oh, no.
We used it up. Let me see if I can find some more. I'm looking for my
She's looking for grapeseed oil because we ran out.
Oh no.
All right, plan 2. I will use my canola oil, which is not healthy, but whatever. I normally don't use I like olive oil, but I normally don't use olive oil because it's not the best for frying. Because it doesn't reach the good temperatures.
Did you want a
fry well.
fork to put it in so it's even?
I have a fork.
But is it even?
It's fine. All right, here we go. Let it cool, like warm up a little bit. The oil has to be hot before you add it.
Oh, so it should be flat.
It should be flat. Yeah, it should be flat.
Oh, I see. I was kind of picturing it more like a dumpling that's like a puffy in the middle. I'm glad you showed it to us like a 3D.
Yes, flat. All right, just again, you'll have a whole bunch. Once the oil heats up, I think it's pretty much ready.
Oh, I can see that.
And then add the other one. And you I normally take about 2 minutes, maybe on per side. So
As long as they don't burn on each side.
big mess in the kitchen. All right, let's see.
I just got a comment from Rebecca. I assume that's your friend. She said it looks delicious.
Oh yeah, it is, Rebecca. You should stop by sometime. I'll give you some, okay? So don't hurry the process. I'm getting impatient right now, but yeah, let it like fry. And usually it starts like rising a little, inflating. You'll see it later. And meanwhile, let me see. I got one of these prepared. The what are they called? Forget. What are they called? Racks, yes.
Racks.
Yeah, I got the racks prepared so that I can place it on there to cool off. Okay. I like to see you guys. So whenever you are, okay, so let's see. I'll flip it over now. All right, there we go. You make sure you don't cut through the edges again through the dough. Flip it over. It probably could have used an extra minute, but it's okay. I think it's because it wasn't completely hot. The skillet wasn't completely hot, so it should be a little browner. I just got impatient.
It looks good. It feels like it's getting there.
Totally. It's very good. Once it's done, it's really good. So,
a little bit. Did you tell them the temperature?
Yeah, so the temperature should be like medium high-ish.
Mm.
With the cast iron, once it's, I think I did, now it's hot. So it's perfect. but before I think it's just slightly not hot yet. So I think that's what's delaying the cooking. Plus I like my grapeseed oil. Oh well. Because it's healthier and all that. But I'm using the canola oil. Okay. So
I
that's
didn't know canola oil is not good for you. Thank you for telling me that.
That's my personal opinion. I cannot advertise that.
Oh, okay.
It is just my personal opinion. My mom uses it for everything. I tell her it's not good, but she doesn't listen to me. So, I mean, there was a time I was actually researching all of this stuff, and I came up with my own personal opinions and stuff. The best thing to use is grapeseed oil, in my opinion. All right, so let me see. I turn away so I can see you guys, and then this is ready. All right. So now it is, I'm putting it over here. Normally I would have two hands. I'm not sure. Sorry. All right, so this goes in there. It is splashing because apparently it leaked. There's a little leak in there. So this time it should actually fry really well. This is, you're smelling it. This is what it looks like. They should be browner. I think it may be the canola oil that's doing it. I don't know. But it's super hot. Whenever you fry it, they are super hot. You definitely don't want to start eating them right away. Let it cool off just at least a little. What I end up doing is just cooling them off on the racks so that they don't get the oil absorbing them, like getting absorbed more in oil. Otherwise it gets really soggy on the bottom. They're supposed to actually be kind of crispy. Okay. Oily, but crispy. They're not supposed to be soggy. These are not the best, I can tell you right now, but the other ones hopefully turn out better because they're supposed to be more crispier looking. This one looks oil absorbed for whatever reason. And so what I end up doing is letting them completely cool off on the rack. Probably a couple hours. Whenever they're completely cooled off on the rack, then I put them into, let me see. I'll talk to you guys like this. I'll put them into a glass casserole. I'll show you. Like something like this, or a casserole, any casserole. And I would lay them. So I would lay them in there and put a wax paper in between so they don't stick.
That's
So
a good trick.
But you want to make sure they're fully cooled off because if they're a little warm, you'll have the condensation forming and it's going to be icy. You don't want ice in there. You want them completely cooled off. Oftentimes I make them and I just do my thing for like half a day or whatever and just place them in the, okay, these need to be flipped. I guess I can show you how I flip them. It's not hard. You just use tongues and go, ouch. So they're a little more brownish. They're supposed to be more brown. Okay, I think it's the canola oil. I'm telling you, don't like it. But let me show you something. So you can fill the tortillas with anything you want. Any filling, you can create whatever you want as your filling. The fillings that I like to use is what I just made. And the other one is I love cheese. So I fill them up with cheese too. So this is what they look like. Okay, these are frozen. I actually had a container frozen with cheese. So again, what I have is layers. Okay, layers.
That's really smart. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you just completely, you take it out, put it in your little toaster oven, and it's just like as though you made them. They're amazing. I love them.
Yeah, that's a great trick. Thank you.
It is. So and if you don't have a casserole, you can actually use a freezer bag if you want. I've actually didn't have enough room in one of these. So I actually used a freezer bag and it works too, but I try to use it up the freezer bag first because it's not as good as the casserole dish or something with the lid.
What kind of cheese do you use?
So the cheese I use is the freshly shredded Fiesta blend. This is what I use because I like it. But you can use whatever you want. If you like mozzarella, you can probably use mozzarella. But I think this is a good blend because
different cheese.
It's really good. I think if you use mozzarella, it might be too chunky, my opinion. You know, or something. I think sharp cheddar would be good. If you like sharp cheddar, go for it. So, good questions. Keep them
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah, this is so fun. Nadia, thank you for showing us 3 dishes.
You're very welcome. So I will turn off the oil and focus on you guys now. So that's all you do. Chebureki are super easy. You get the correct dough, and that's all you need in the filling.